Exercise 302 introduces other methods whereby you might earn an income. Now, they include things like an income based on a commission, or an income based on piecework, or incomes based on royalties. Now, let's develop those ideas a little bit further. A commission is based on the percentage of sales. Now, this is why we did some revision on percentages. It'll be important that you can work percentage in calculating the income in this situation. The sorts of people who have an income based on a commission could be, as you can see here, maybe a real estate agent. So depending on the sale of this house, or the amount he gets for that house, he gets a percentage of that amount and for himself to keep as part of his commission. Car salesman, anybody in the role of an agent acting on behalf of somebody else is, in order to sell something, is often paid a commission. The commission could be a sliding scale, which just means they get a certain percentage for a certain amount. Then once they hit or go over an amount, they may be paid a bigger percentage. So there's an incentive to try to get the most money, obviously, for the person, in this case, selling a house, because the agent stand to earn more commission for himself as well. Sometimes people working in this role would also be paid a retainer, which is a guaranteed amount. So just in case the agent's worked all week but hasn't managed to sell a house, a retainer is a guaranteed amount that he will get, sort of as a base wage, so that he's not without any income for that particular period of time. Another way of earning an income is by piecework. Now, piecework could include producing an item per piece of work that you produce. If you are making a rocking horse, for example, so you only get paid for each rocking horse that you produce. Here, another example is you might get paid per pamphlet you deliver. So now we'd be getting up into big numbers. You'd be expected to deliver maybe thousands of pamphlets, drop them in people's letterboxes. Other ways in which you could get paid per piece is fruit picking. If you may get paid per bucket of fruit that you pick, and if you can manage to pick and fill lots of buckets, then obviously get paid more. Royalties is different again in that it's based on the number of copies of an item sold. So the people that are gaining royalties are authors of books, for example, so that each time a book is reproduced and sold, the actual author receives some small, probably percentage again, of the cost of the book. Singers receive royalties, I guess each time a album may be sold entirely or a song is sold, but also they get paid a royalty every time an agency plays their song. So they'd be getting a very small amount of money. Artists, people who paint, would get paid They sort of cover both. They get paid for each artwork, but they might, and in terms of piecework, but they may also get paid then if anyone reproduces that artwork and creates a print from it. So they would be getting a royalty anytime anyone reproduces their artwork. So let's have a look at some examples of earning an income via these methods. So it says Josh is paid 73 cents for each shirt folded and boxed. Last week he processed 1,440 shirts. How much did he earn? Let's follow our method for approaching any written question where we underline the important pieces of information. 37 cents for each shirt. Last week he processed 1,440 shirts. How much did he earn? Translating that now and beginning our solution, we identify this as piecework. We would probably write 0.73 per shirt. Number of shirts is equal to 1440. Total earned. Coming from that word, how much does he earn? Total earned would simply be the number of shirts folded and the amount he gets each shirt, which, provided I've put that into the calculator correctly, is $1,051.20. So it's a nice little income for him. Let's have a look at the next example. Ali earns a retainer. Now, a retainer is a fixed amount, like I was saying, just in case she didn't have success with her sales. She's definitely going to get $415 a week, plus a commission of 8.5% of mops sold. To the nearest cent, how much does Ali earn for selling $1,595 worth in 1 week? And if Ali earned this amount, what was the value of mops that she sold? Let me pause the video and identify the information, write it up in the solution, and maybe you can get at least that far as well. So I advise you to pause the video at this stage and attempt the solution yourself. So you can see there I've circled the $415 per week. 8.5% is important because that is the commission. A to the nearest cent, how much does Ali earn for selling $1,595 worth of mops? And again, how much means I've focused on what I have to find, or I can identify it. And this is another important piece of information, obviously. So, translating that, Ali earns a retainer, write it down. Retainer is that. Commission is 8.5% on the value of Wonder Mops sold. You don't need to write Wonder Mops, and we can just refer to whatever is being sold as the sales. Now, like I said previously, use these words in your setting out. Then they'll become automatic to you. Practice doing it throughout the every question you do in the textbook, and it will become much easier for you to produce in a text. A wants us to find the amount earned. How much does Ali earn? And again, we're just putting a slight variation on that word earn, and calling it earned, and knowing that these are her sales of 1,595. And so we can write amount earned is the retainer plus her commission. And the commission is 8.5%, because we've got it written here, of her sales, which we've also got identified. Using the calculator there, we've got 415 plus, and I guess I should have had a 0 in here, but converting 8.5% to a decimal, move the decimal point back 2 places. We'll put the decimal point back here before a 0 in there, times 1595, and we get a total of $550, and we would round that up to 58 cents. So we get our 550.58 when we round up. Part B is asking, if Ali earned $700 in the week, we know the amount earned this time. The amount earned is $700. So it's not like we're finding it, we've been given it. The amount earned is this. What was the value of the mops sold? So what we are finding is find her sales. Find the amount of sales. Correct to the nearest dollar. We'll be using a similar statement to this, and we'll be creating an equation, because we'll have an unknown. This amount here of sales will be the unknown. So the amount earned is 700. The retainer is 415. The percentage gets converted to a decimal, and we've got times X, because this is our unknown. This is what we're trying to find. That is an equation. Now, we're wanting to solve this equation. So we're now really doing techniques from our algebra chapter. I will pause the video and write up the solution. Now you can see algebraically we've got a number, add a number times our x. Here's our unknown. Now we want to get that unknown by itself, and the first thing we will remove is the 415. So take it over here to the 700 and subtract it. 700 subtract 415 gives 285, and we've still got 0.085 to remove from the right hand side. To remove this, in this case, we need to divide both sides by 285. So I think my calculator there, and you'll be able to see it, is I've taken the answer and I've divided by this 0.085 to get 3352.941, etc. The question did ask for this to the nearest dollar, so we round that to $3,353.